China stages largest military show near Taiwan in decades. Illegal waste dumping persists in Taiwan's Hsinchu, Miaoli counties. Taichung mayor plans to build 30,000-plus seat stadium. Brazilian President Lula undergoes emergency brain surgery. Suspect in healthcare CEO killing arrested at McDonald's. Syria post-Assad power vacuum poses problems for Middle East. China launches anti-monopoly probe into Nvidia. Hong Kong displays 2,500 panda sculptures.
Hello, I'm Wade Lee. Thank you for joining us on Funday News. It is Wednesday, December 11th, and here are your top stories. And in local news, Taiwan's Defense Ministry has reported a significant increase in Chinese military activities around the island, including 53 military aircrafts and 12 naval vessels, marking the highest number of aircrafts detected in a single day since October 15, 2024. The surge in activity follows Taiwanese President Lai Ching-te's recent visit to Hawaii and Guam, which China criticized. In response, Taiwan has heightened its alert status and initiated combat readiness exercises. Illegal waste dumping is a persistent problem in Hsinchu and Miaoli counties, especially in mountainous areas. Miaoli police reported 480 cases this year, including 63 referred for prosecution and 43 vehicles seized. To combat this, Hsinchu County plans to implement GPS tracking on vehicles. Taichung Mayor Lu Shouyan announced plans to build a baseball-capable stadium with a capacity of over 30,000 to 40,000 seats. The site requires 10 to 15 acres of land and a budget of 40 to 50 billion NT dollars. Final site evaluations are underway, with a public report to follow. And in global news, Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva has undergone emergency surgery to drain bleeding on his brain. According to an Association Press translation of a medical note published on his official X account Tuesday, the 79-year-old leftist leader, known as Lula, underwent the procedure after an MRI scan showed an intracranial hemorrhage. The surgery was successful, and Lula is well, and being monitored in the intensive care unit of a hospital in São Paulo. He was transferred from the capital Brasilia, where he had the MRI scan on Monday.
According to a translation of the hospital's medical report, earlier this year, Lula fell at home and suffered a visible cut on the back of his head, just above his neck. Lula described the incident as serious at the time, but said in a telephone call with an official from his Workers' Party, shared on social media, that he was fine. Doctors believe the two incidents are linked. The earlier accident forced Lula to cancel his planned trip to the BRICS summit in Kazan, a city in southwest Russia, his office said in a statement at the time. Doctors said Lula is expected to return to Brasilia at the beginning of next week. Labor Minister Luis Marinho was one of the first to publicly reach out to Lula, wishing him a swift and full recovery.
A 26-year-old man has been arrested in connection with last week's fatal shooting of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson in New York City. Luigi Mangione was taken into custody at a McDonald's in Altoona, Pennsylvania on Monday after a customer at the fast food outlet recognized him. He was found in possession of a handwritten document that indicated his motivation and mindset. Mr. Mangione later appeared in court to be arraigned on 5 initial counts and was denied bail. A prosecutor said a homicide charge is expected to be filed soon.
Mr. Mangione was formally charged on Monday evening with forgery, carrying firearms without a license, tampering with records or identification, possessing instruments of crime, and providing false identification to police. New York City investigators used one of the world's largest digital surveillance systems, police dogs, drones, and divers in a Central Park lake to search for clues before the manhunt spread to neighboring states. However, it was ultimately a McDonald's customer who recognized the suspect from media coverage and alerted an employee, who tipped off the police. Investigators revealed that finding him was a complete surprise, as they did not have his name on a list of suspects before Monday.
President Joe Biden wrote on X, stating that the stunning collapse of President Bashar Assad's regime in Syria presents a moment of historic opportunity, as rebel fighters and Damascenes celebrated the end of their 14-year war against the authoritarian government. The president added, "It is also a moment of risk and uncertainty." The uprising, which began with a protest march in Daraa in 2011, ended with celebratory gunfires in Damascus in 2024. The surprise rebel offensive that surged out of the northwest province last month revealed the regime in Damascus to be hollow.
Its backers in Moscow, Tehran, and Beirut were unable or unwilling to respond, perhaps because their resources were sapped by wars in Ukraine, Lebanon, Gaza, and elsewhere. The offensive that toppled Assad was led by Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, an Islamist group with roots in al-Qaeda, listed as a terrorist organization in the US and the European Union. White House National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan called the group's background a concern, noting elements are linked to organizations with American blood on their hands. HTS leader Abu Muhammad al-Jolani has become the face of the Syrian opposition. It remains unclear how Jolani will control the disparate rebel groups across the country.
China on Monday accused U.S. chipmaker Nvidia of violating its anti-monopoly law, a move likely to escalate already tense trade relations between the two countries as President-elect Donald Trump prepares to take office for a second time. China's state market regulator ARMS said the probe is related to Nvidia's 2019 acquisition of Mellanox, a global supplier of computer networking equipment. China had conditionally approved the acquisition in 2020. In a statement, Nvidia said it was happy to answer any questions regulators have about its business.
Last week, the outgoing Biden administration announced a new set of export controls on US-made semiconductors aimed at limiting China's ability to use them for developing weapons and advanced artificial intelligence systems. China responded by accusing the US of bullying and hypocrisy while imposing embargoes on critical materials to the US. The US and France have also launched investigations into Nvidia's market dominance, albeit on different grounds. Over the past year, the Santa Clara-based company, whose chips have become the processor of choice for tech firms driving the AI revolution, has significantly boosted the US stock market. In 2024, Nvidia's share price nearly tripled, making it one of the world's most valuable companies.
Thousands of giant panda sculptures greet residents and tourists in Hong Kong, where enthusiasm for the bear has grown since two cubs were born in a local theme park. The 2,500 exhibits were showcased at the launch ceremony of Panda Go Fest Hong Kong, the city's largest panda-themed exhibition at Hong Kong's airport. The cubs, whose birth in August made their mother Ying Ying the world's oldest first-time panda mom, may meet visitors as early as February. The design of 6 of the sculptures, made from recyclable rubber, barrels, and resin, among other materials, was inspired by these bears.
The displays reflect Hong Kong's use of pandas to boost its economy as the city works to regain its position as a top tourism destination in Asia. Pandas are China's unofficial national mascot, and its giant panda loan program with overseas zoos has long been seen as a tool of Beijing's soft power diplomacy. Hong Kong's tourism representatives are optimistic about the impact of housing 6 pandas, hoping to boost visitor numbers, even though caring for pandas is expensive. Officials have encouraged businesses to capitalize on the bear's popularity to seize opportunities in what some lawmakers call the panda economy. Most of the sculptures will be auctioned online for charity, with proceeds donated to Ocean Park to support panda conservation efforts.
The answer for yesterday was C, sympathized. After hearing about the family's loss, many people sympathized with them and sent their condolences. Did you answer correctly? Now let's delve into the news of Brazil President Lula undergoes emergency brain surgery. Number 1, hemorrhage, 大失血. The patient suffered a severe hemorrhage after the surgery. Number 2, intensive, 强烈的,密集的. The intensive care unit is designed to monitor critically ill patients. Number 3, visible, 可见的. The damage was not visible until the skin started swelling. Next, we have a multiple choice question for everyone to practice. Which answer would you choose? You can write your answer in the comments section. The correct answer will be announced tomorrow. And that's all for today's Funday News. Be sure to tune into Funday News from Monday to Friday and click the link below to join Funday for free. I'm Wei Li, your host. I'll see you next time.